there is the official policy and there's the practice in the field. And we won't talk anymore about that.
Okay. So the last question I have before I open it up to you guys in the last 15 minutes is, how can students get involved in this issue? Why should students get involved in this issue?
Great, so it's pretty easy with this one. So why do I? Entirely student run. Students can get involved by volunteering, at least with us, on a variety of levels, as case managers, as shift volunteers, as directors or supervisors with a bit of more time commitment. Why should students get involved? I think, at least in Harvard Square, something that struck me as soon as I came to Harvard was the disparity you see here. You see, a world of immense privilege with students going to Harvard with all these resources at their disposal, and you're walking through the square and there's an enormous homeless population, and especially youth homeless population. And I think volunteering at a shelter, whether it be HSHS or a Y2Y, is a great way to connect to people at Y2Y of your own age and to give back and to take advantage of the opportunities you have while at Harvard, while as a student with free time to do this. I think that's one reason to get involved, and it's pretty easy here.
I think pretty much it says volunteer. There's tons about volunteer opportunities to provide mentorship opportunities, to come in and read to kids. There's so many ways to get involved. I think what I would say as you get ready to graduate and join the workforce is to come back to the core issue of pay inequality, and if you're in a position of influence over compensation, or if you own a business, or if you're in a position that has influence over compensation, to remember that's the core issue. I think I was reading yesterday that folks that work at Walmart cost us $6.2 million in public benefits right now, and it's crazy.
Yeah. Once we house people, because they have a severity of issues, we typically have an interdisciplinary team that visits them. That includes psychologists, social workers, nurses, psychiatrists, peer specialists. We have, for each of those teams, connections with the local universities, so we do internship programs in those disciplines, so that if people are interested in sort of any of those helping professions, there's a very strong, including research on these issues, so that we have interns for psychology, for social work, for nursing. So it's a great opportunity to get real clinical experience in the field.
Well, we're very fortunate to have several colleges and universities around San Diego, and we're very fortunate enough to have some pre-med students that will come into our organization and talk about medical issues with our kids. We also have the Greek societies on the various colleges willing to come in and learn about homelessness. And incidentally, I should say, before we have any volunteer come in and meet with our kids, they have to go through a background check, because I think that's very important, that the people that volunteer with our kids, our young kids, there's no issues with them. So we're very fortunate with the colleges that are willing to do this new fundraising for us, because it costs us approximately $6,000 plus a month to run our organization, and it's certainly not in the same field as everyone else here with their funding, but it's an issue for us.
Well, there's lots of great places to volunteer. These all are awesome organizations, and I guess I would just ask that folks not start their own organization. There are so many great places doing great work. I read, I learned from a woman doing work in Haiti that in Haiti there are 22,000 NGOs, which is mind-boggling and ridiculous. And so I would say Boston probably has 22,000 NGOs. That's what I feel like sometimes. So
there is a relationship, though, in countries where there is a strong government presence and real benefits. There are a few NGOs. When you have nothing, the NGOs come in and take up that vacuum. And so there's been an increase in NGOs in this country because the government has been abdicating its responsibility.
Right. Well, it's whether they're sustainable, right? So whether they come in and they start a school, and then after a year you can't maintain that school. Whether you start affordable housing units and then you can't maintain those affordable housing units. So that's the thing. I guess I feel like we've at some point reached a point where all these nonprofits aren't sustainable. But there's a lot of great organizations already existing. So I'd encourage all the smart Harvard students to come and give your, your brains and energy and expertise in the existing efforts and make them stronger and better.